much to the opposite of what had been reported. Michael Jordan was about to be maybe the best baseball player of all time if that strike doesn't happen, and there's no way in hell Jordan would be a scab and go over that strike line. No chance in hell that guy would do that. That strike doesn't happen. He doesn't doesn't walk his way back into the practice facility, doesn't start shooting around, doesn't start saying, hey, what do we got here, boys? Hey, I'm going to come back 45, my high school number. It's a trash number, but I'm going to do it, and then we're going to do this, and then I'm going to get back in shape, then I'm going to shoot Space Jam, I'm going to build my own gym, and then we're going to come back and win 3 more titles.
He didn't have like a say in the matter. Like they had to throw him into the deep end because they knew the media was going to be crazy. Like he would have never started there if he was serious about making a run towards like going and playing in the majors. But they had no choice. It's like, hey, you're going to have to play with these guys who are obviously much better than you.
He would have probably came to the Frontier League where I played.
Yes. Maybe.
My first ever time on a baseball diamond, I played a professional game for the Washington Wild Things, who ended up coming in second in the entire league. Shout out to the Washington Wild Things. But me and Michael Jordan, we very much understand the difficulties of getting in their minor league. When you haven't played baseball, for him for a long time, me ever. You know, there's a lot of things you kind of have to adapt to. But that locker room and clubhouse environment is something that I'll cherish for the rest of my life. And I think it really helped Michael Jordan get over his dad passing away, was this group of young bucks who were kind of, yes, obviously he was an icon, but treating him as an equal. I mean, it's like college almost again for him. It's like the little fraternity-like feel. I think the baseball trip was a big one. And also very much misrepresented and miscalculated in my brain, in my memory. And I think a lot of people's. I thought he was just a absolute dog crap baseball player. Turns out that was wrong. He was a very good baseball player, about to be even better if he would have got about 1,500 more hacks at that thing.
It's because that Hatchet job by Sports Illustrated.
Which, by the way, good for them. Rest in peace to any interview they ever won from Sports Illustrated. That picture of him in that mist, can't hit the damn curveball. Now listen, as somebody who hadn't seen a curveball ever in their life, that first curveball you see, quite a moment. Quite a moment. Ronaldo Lopez hit me with a curveball in the 4th inning, I believe, 3rd or 4th inning. And everybody told me that this guy was only going to throw me fastballs because I wasn't a real baseball player, which is what they did to Michael Jordan, by the way. Whenever he had a 13-game hit streak, it's because every pitcher was told by all of his friends, if he can hit your fastball, you shouldn't be pitching in the majors because he hasn't played for 14 years. So they all start throwing him just gas because it's like kind of a code amongst baseball players. He gets a 13-game hit streak, and then they're all like, okay, let's get past the code. He can hit the fastball if we need him to. And then they start throwing that curve to you, and boy, my first time seeing that son bitch. I mean, that thing was coming at my face, and then it just disappeared. And it's like, well, I don't know how I'm not supposed to swing at that. And then obviously, I don't know how I'm ever supposed to make contact with that. And I never did, but he did. He ended up making contact.
Had no idea that Tito Francona was his coach either.
That was awesome.
That's pretty cool little tie back in.
Very cool.
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Jordan's hitting schedule, too. They talked about it. He would hit in the morning, then he'd hit before the game, then he'd hit during the game, then he'd hit after the game. So, I mean, if you were doing that, you're probably hitting the breaking ball.
This is what he did, by the way, at North Carolina his freshman year, whenever he told Dean Smith and Roy Williams, he said, I'm going to be the hardest working guy you've ever seen. And they said by the end of this thing, he was the best basketball player in the nation, and baseball is going to be the same damn thing. Then they went on a strike and said no taxation without representation. They threw the T into the bay. They strike, tell baseball we ain't playing no more. Jordan's on a scab. He disappears. See you later. I'm going back to basketball, making a Space Jam movie. It's going to make $1 billion. And then I'm building my own gym across the street in Los Angeles, which is probably so much money to build with a gym. I'm going to transform my body back, and then we're going to win 3 more titles. Damn, what a life this guy's lived.
What a wild.
That's why he can turn down $100 million offers.
Yep.
I don't want to do it. It's $100 million. I don't want to do it. It's $100 million. That was what? 1/8 of what Space Jam made? Do you remember that? I wasn't even in Space Jam. Space Jam, everybody that was making Space Jam thought Space Jam was to make that movie. Space Jam was created strictly so Michael Jordan could get back in the basketball show. He was going against aliens for a little bit during the day, and then all the NBA's greats were coming out and travel play against him at night. They don't even know. He was studying them, watching their film, and getting back into shape. I mean, Space Jam was strictly a training camp for Michael Jordan. We all viewed it as a great movie, which it was, by the way. Great movie.
Oh, yeah.
Great movie. I don't know about top 5, but it's a great movie. But in real life, that thing was just there strictly to get him back into basketball shape after the baseball years took over.
It was very intriguing. I thought last night that like when talking about his first retirement and then talking about his father's death and then talking about how he viewed his teammates and making them work, that was what he got most emotional about was talking about how he viewed him working and how the pressure he put on his teammates.
That's the way I play the game. And if you don't want to play that way, don't play that way. Break. He was not going to let anybody catch him at his weak. He said, listen, I know too many memes that come from this. Okay? The last time I cried on camera, it became a meme. Then at Kobe's funeral, he even mentioned it like, oh, they're going to meme me again. And then this was a chance to potentially meme a savage. Michael Jordan, if I've taken anything out of this, is a savage, this guy. Through and through, this man is to say, it doesn't matter if it's throwing quarters, doesn't matter if it's on a golf course. If you accidentally, potentially, don't even say something about him, he's packing that away and he's going to attempt to kill you, just like he did to that LeBradford Scott from Washington, D.C. Nice game, Mike, or something like that. And it turns out the guy never said it. LeBradford Smith did everything he was supposed to do. He just had a good game, and then he was like, Mr. Jordan, have a good day. See you later. I've heard these stories. Michael Jordan said, nah, he said nice game to you. Imagine him looking at the mirror to himself like, yeah, nice game. Did he even say nice game? Yeah, he said it. And he even said, like, Mike. And then he scores 36 points in the first half. That dude is a savage through and through. And then when you catch him in those moments where he's off, you're going to get got. You just got to get yours more than you get got, though. But him talking about how this is how I play the game. If you don't like it, get the hell out of here. That alongside the quote of people saying, oh, you're a tyrant, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's coming from you, somebody who's never won anything. Like, you can tell that he's built up, I don't want to say answers to these things, but I assume that he was sick of hearing about this stuff. I'm sick of hearing that I was too hard on people and everything like that, because I got a firsthand witness to watch Peyton do this, and it wasn't to the extent of he was like, "Where your mouth at now, ho?" Like I don't think Peyton Manning was saying that to anybody, but Peyton Manning's expectations of everybody was very high. I would assume it's the same from Tom Brady, even though he's known as a good team guy. I would assume that if you're not carrying your weight, he's going to call you out for it. I assume that the same thing was for Wayne Gretzky. Like I assume those guys and girls that are at the upper echelon of everything, they expect their teammates to be better, because it's like, hey, we're not wasting my years that I have at top because you refuse to work as hard as I do.